Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wrong end. Test.
It's a just Highlander super stall.
Look at that. That's cool. Very steep, slow.
Yeah, it's got a tremendous speed range. Oh, well, tremendous low speed range. Slats come out of the wings when you slow it down.
And that is a Highlander?
Yeah.
Is that the one with the super duper wings, or didn't they change it a couple of years ago and they added something to the wing to make it even more?
Well, they added slats to the leading edge, yeah. And then they put the high impact landing gear is what I call it.
Uh-huh.
It had something like 27 inches of stroke on the main gear struts.
There he comes back around again. Now he's with the wind. Well, no, he was crosswind both times, wasn't he? Yeah.
And he's got a little jet in the background.
And we got a jet in the background, and all my cameras are involved shooting other things. Oh, well. What did we decide? This was 427, I think. So 427 Bravo.
427 Bravo.
So it's Wednesday. It's day 2 of
Bravissimo. Day 2 at Sun and Fun 2017.
Yeah, and it's a nice week. It's I don't know. It's calm. It's not crazy and it's not dead. It's just
it's far from dead.
Yeah. You've been out and about more than I have. I've been kind of chained to my keyboard doing editing and stuff. But what's it like out here? We're sitting out here by the edge of the ultralight, or the ultralight/LSA runway right now.
We're in Paradise City.
Paradise City, and watching the airplanes, and we were just admiring a
Stoll
Highlander.
airplane called a Just Highlander Super Stoll
go by, and here he comes again now, and he's managing to go pretty slow, even though that's not technically upwind. The runway, the wind's just about 90 degrees across this runway.
90 degrees across the runway, and he's doing.
Oh, and look at the little crab angle
flight.
he's got going there. You can see it now, and so
he slowed down. The slats popped out. He's got no flaps out. And he's got full aileron authority as he goes westbound on the Paradise City runway.
So I'm guessing...
Marvelous handling airplane.
Hey, you've flown that airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing that they're doing, these are demo flights or showcase flights now, right?
I think right now what's going on is showcase flights.
This is not open flying where people can
Right. They got the red flag out, and they're letting different airplanes strut their stuff, if you will.
I hadn't noticed the red flag, you're right. It's about 2 in the afternoon, and yeah, it's just a nice day. It's a little warm, but that's okay. It's comfy. And,
nice breeze. It's good sunburn weather.
It's very good sunburn weather. It's a little less humid than it's been for a couple days, I think. And
it is, and it's funny because it was foggy this morning, and there was dew on everything. But the humidity's down.
Was it this morning you said you had to wipe down the golf cart seats, and 5 minutes later they were all dewed up again? And,
and had to shake the roof really hard to get the raindrops.
Yeah.
The under the roof raindrops free.
I walked in from the campground about half an hour after you did, and a very generous individual offered me a ride in the cart, and I wanted to accept, and I did accept, but I was going, oh man, I hope he wiped down those seats, because I don't want to sit in a puddle here. I know how much the dew can make the condense on the seats.
You can always tell people it's butt sweat.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. I see. I wasn't worried about what people thought looking at me. I just didn't want to sit in a puddle. That's all. What else is going on? We did our episode last night. That was a lot of fun, and missed Jeb, but it was a good time was had by all. Amy and James were there.
Amy and James were there.
Old friend Craig and new friend Janet, and
Janet Davidson. And from what I hear, the feedback, we had a good show. We had fun.
Yeah, we did have fun.
Today we've been doing live radio. We've been up to Media Center for a lunch. We've been out on the flight line a little bit. Going to dive back into the buildings when we finish with this daily and start to accomplish some work tasks toward the projects I've got.
Right. I think maybe you can hear it. The Highlander actually just came and landed in about a 3-foot rollout right in front of us, and that was kind of cool.
They've added fences to the tail.
Oh yeah, look at those. Now what? That cuts down on turbulence at the tips. Is that what's?
It increases the authority of the elevator.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I would imagine it does that by smoothing out the airflow over the wingtips.
Not smoothing it, trapping it.
Right.
So it can't span while it floats.
Well, that's kind of what I mean, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. It keeps a straight flow across the wing surface for more of the width of the.
And as soon as the Just Highlander was clear of the runway, another one took off.
I didn't recognize that one. What aircraft was that?
I didn't get a good enough look at it.
Yeah, we were all staring at the Highlander.
But that one, we know we've been lucky enough to get some time in it a couple of times. Oshkosh and here both. And if I wanted an airplane to play and do bush flying with, it'd be a high candidate. And a gyrocopter.
Oh, here we go. He's doing a fun turnaround. He did a relatively steep climb out, and then a couple hundred feet above the departure into the runway, he basically pulled a 180 in midair, and then came back down at the runway. And
It triggers another line. I love the sound of Rotax in the morning,
Yeah.
except it's in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Tim Ettridge gave me a little lecture last night when after the episode. He was there listening in and chatted with us for a few seconds, and afterwards he said he had a bone to pick with me, I guess is maybe the way he put it, about how every time he takes off in one of his ultralights at Quest, he does a steep pull-up. And I've commented that I thought the steep pull-up was showboating, and he says, and he's like chants, apparently his little mantra, he says, "Jack, it's not showboating, it's an efficient way to fly." It's so apparently the steep pull-up that our gyrocopter guy did here was not showboating. It was an important part of flight.
There is a little something to be said about getting as much space between aircraft and ground as early as you can,
Yeah.
in case you need to have time to pick a place to come back to the ground when you didn't intend to.
What else is going on? What were we looking at? The French team flew yesterday, and I'm told that was the only time they're flying this week, which I got to see them from a distance. I would have paid more attention if I had known that was the only time. I quite frankly thought it was their practice flight, and that they were going to be back in it today or something. But
Nope, that was it. And they have a very tight schedule, and very few places are going to get to see them here in the States. But we've got a full afternoon air show coming up here in another hour or so, and then a little break from the flying activity. And tonight will be the Wednesday night, the first of 2 night air shows, and that's always a blast.
And I need to check out these lights in the cowling thing. That's my big checkbox for today. Well, it is actually on my checklist. It may or may not be the big thing of the day.
The Aero Shell guys got those airplanes lit up like no one else right now. There's a Yonkin flying a Beech 18 that's got a huge light array on it. I forget how many lights and how much power they had to add to the generating system to power it. But the T6 boys from the Aeroshell Squadron, not only are the airplanes lit up and they got multiple strobes and flashing landing lights, but then they've got those lights inside the cowl that light the prop from the back side, light up the cylinder fins.
Yeah.
It's really dramatic.
I've seen still pictures, but I haven't seen it in person yet, so I'm going to pay attention tonight and watch that.
If luck and weather hold, tonight will be your chance.
Yeah, weather's going to hold. It looks like it's actually going to be raining tomorrow morning, just for a little bit, like really early, before the show even begins for the day. And then it's supposed to turn nice and a little bit cooler. It's actually going to be a little bit Florida cold for the next couple of mornings. I think those of us from up north are going to think it's perfectly fine, but it is going to get a little bit chilly in the mornings for the next couple. So I think it's actually going to make the week even better, quite frankly.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think it'll encourage people to come out because it won't be so humid and uncomfortable. The airplanes, they always like the cooler air better. Let's make it aircraft, because they're not all airplanes, are they?
Yeah.
Today's just day 2. We've got 4 more days.
We've got more days, and We had, I'll give you one teaser here. On last night's podcast, the one that should go up on the feed about the same time as this daily, we had Greg Gibson, staff member, director of operations for Sun and Fun, and I just this morning scheduled for Lights Leanouts, the head guy at Sun and Fun, to be on the podcast on Sunday morning.
No kidding. How did you manage that?
Yeah, well, you know, I have friends in high places, and so Lights is going to join us during that episode, assuming his schedule doesn't change, and it'll be fun to talk with him again and to hear how the week went, because it looks like it's going great.
It's going great. We're looking out at the general parking lot that's on the south side on Pipkin Road, and it looks pretty full. I won't say 100% because I can see a space here and there, but that may be just for a driveway.
But they have filled out the rows all the way to the edge of the parking lot, it appears from here.
And the aircraft parking from the far west end all the way back to Choppertown is well populated with aircraft.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a successful show already 2 days in.
Yep.
Now all we need for it to close that way is for it to stay safe and for the weather to be as pleasant
That's
as
right.
they're predicting.
And for Jeb Burnside to get here.
We definitely need Jeb to get here.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, there we go. That's a fairly undirected but casual UCAP Daily 427 Bravo, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Bye.